Tough stretch for the Denver Nuggets ahead of the All-Star break. Will Nathan McKinnon be on the ice tonight? Plus, bittersweet news for Rockies fans. Welcome to your Denver Sports Daily for February 13th. Let's go.
Taking you through your morning headlines, it's Denver Sports Daily with Rachel Vigil.
We start off the show with your Mile High Minute presented by Smashburger. The Nuggets at the Milwaukee Bucks back-to-back blowout losses, 135-106 on Friday against the Kings. MPJ did not play in that game, and then 112-95 last night against the Bucks. Starting lineup started the game poorly, and then the first bench rotation put the Nuggets behind by 20 points, and they were never simply able to overcome it. Giannis had 36 points, 18 rebounds, and 5 assists, and then the Nuggets big man, Nikola Jokic, with 29 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists. Jamal Murray played 18 minutes last night, scoring 3 points and exiting in what appeared to be a shin injury. Murray was barely able to get any lift on any of his shots, and he looked like he was really struggling to move. Now, KCP played just 9 minutes, exiting after the first quarter with a hamstring injury. There was no updates on KCP or Murray, but coach said that KCP was feeling good, passed all the tests, hesitated when Malone asked how he was feeling, and Jamal told Malone in the first half he wasn't feeling great, but wanted to finish the half to see how he felt, decided not to go into the second. Now, Victor Wembanyama had a rare triple-double, his second triple-double of his career, with his first with blocks. Yeah, you heard me say that right, with blocks. Wembanyama had 27 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists as well in just 29 minutes. The producer Joey and I were talking about this, and we're talking how many points essentially he had to score in those 29 minutes. Absolutely crazy. He's the first player with 10 blocks and 5 assists in under 30 minutes played, according to ESPN Stats and Information Research. He's the 5th player in history to do so, in the first since 2021. Now, Colorado Avalanche are taking on the Washington Capitals tonight at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. To note, Nathan McKinnon was not on the ice yesterday for practice. However, Jared Bednar did say that he should be good to go for tonight as he was getting some treatment on something that he had tweaked, and he was out on the ice this morning for morning skate. Hopefully they're able to bounce back after their 4-0 loss to the Florida Panthers. Bittersweet news for Colorado Rockies fans. Jenny Kavar, somebody we all know and love. I've had her on our show many of times. NBC Sports California has named Jenny Kavar the primary play-by-play announcer for its live game coverage of the Oakland A's. A 20-year media veteran who has 17 years of experience covering baseball becomes the first female primary play-by-play voice in Major League history. We all remember when she did that. It was insane. Everybody was congratulating her. I was so honored to call her a friend when she made history doing that. She will call a majority of the A's games. She has been doing this for the past 12 years. She was the backup play-by-play announcer for and pregame, postgame for Rockies, obviously, which is how so many of us know and love her. So a bittersweet moment as we say congratulations to Jenny as she moves into this primary role for the Oakland A's. And of course, with everything up with where the Rockies will be broadcasted, I'm happy to hear that we will still be hearing Jenny's voice on TV. So congratulations again to her. Way too early NFL season predictions are already out, and coming in at number 1 is the Baltimore Ravens. Interesting. Number 2 is the Chiefs, and number 3 is the 49ers, and then coming in at number 23 is the Denver Broncos. Now, Jeff Legwold over at ESPN says, again, the Broncos went all in on Russell Wilson 2 years ago by trading 5 draft picks and 3 starters and awarding Wilson a 9-digit contract. But now they seem poised to say goodbye if they release Wilson in the coming weeks, as most expect. But they don't have many draft picks in April, 6, and the cap will be a challenge. Denver says it has a plan, but it will have to be a good one. I feel like 23 was an interesting number for this team to come in at. I don't know if I was expecting them to come a little bit lower because of quarterback controversy, or if I was wanting them to come a little bit higher because, of course, I always root for the orange and blue. But let me know how you feel about number 23, where the Broncos come in. Do you think that fits where they are right now? Pittsburgh Steelers and quarterback Mitch Trubisky have agreed to part ways ahead of free agency. Reportedly, the move was so Trubisky could get an early start to move on before free agency opens up. He played in 5 games this year for the Steelers with a QBR rating of 34.6. Ouch. The Steelers are expected to be in the market for a new quarterback during free agency and will demote Kenny Pickett to backup. I find this to be interesting, and I'm a little worrisome that the Broncos could somehow get looped into a Mitch Trubisky name and free agency, and he could be exactly what Sean Payton needs. I'm really hoping that will not be the case, but hey, anything can happen in free agency at this point. Now, there's a little bit of drama when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. They had reached an agreement on Monday for Mike Zimmer to be the next Dallas defensive coordinator. But here's where things get a little interesting. Last week, a source had confirmed to ESPN that Zimmer was expected to be hired as the Cowboys defensive coordinator. But ESPN analyst Rex Ryan, who seems to have so much to say about any sort of defensive coordinator position, said on ESPN's postseason NFL countdown on Sunday for the Super Bowl, "I'm not so sure Zimmer has that job right now. I'm not sure about that. I can honestly say I don't believe that's a fact right now." Then on Monday, ESPN's Adam Schefter reported that the Cowboys had reached back out to Ryan on Sunday about the position. However, Zimmer and the Cowboys agreed to contract terms on Monday afternoon. He replaces Dan Quinn, who was hired last week as the Washington Commanders' new coach after a 3-year run as the Cowboys' defensive coordinator. Zimmer obviously has connections to the Cowboys. He was an assistant coach from 1994 to 2006, starting as a defensive assistant, then moving to defensive backs in 1995, the last season which Dallas won a Super Bowl, might I add, and serving as the coordinator from 2000 to 2006 under 2 different head coaches. Interesting. I'm like, okay, Rex Ryan, you always kind of seem to have a lot of information, but it doesn't also seem to be adding up a lot of times. Let me know what you think of the Cowboys adding Mike Zimmer on to the staff. And then the Super Bowl. I feel like we all probably should have known this. It was a record-breaking game in more ways than one. It was the longest Super Bowl in history, lasting 74 minutes and 57 seconds of game time and more than 4 hours of real time. I feel like we all kind of got that when it was the third quarter and we're like, we need this game to pick up its pace and start going. It also had the record for the longest field goal made in a Super Bowl, which was set twice. The 49ers' Jake Moody set the record with a 55-yard field goal in the second quarter, only for Harrison Butker to break it again with a 57-yarder in the third. Patrick Mahomes broke the record for most career rushing yards by a quarterback in the Super Bowl with 139. He also tied Joe Montana for the second most Super Bowl MVP awards with 3. The 49ers, Juwan Jennings, became the second player in Super Bowl history with a touchdown pass and a touchdown reception, joining Eagles quarterback Nick Foles. The Chiefs also became the first team to win back-to-back Super Bowls since the New England Patriots in 2003 and 2004. It just keeps going. It was the most watched program in television history with an average of 123.4 million viewers. Holy smoke, so many people tuning into the Super Bowl. And then Christian McCaffrey, also the first player in Super Bowl history to record 80 rushing and 80 receiving yards in a single game. So much information coming out of Super Bowl 58. It was so much fun, such a good game. But yeah, holy smokes, I'm like, how many records were coming in and out of that game? Always a blast, you guys. Love hanging out with you. Want to check out the one comment? Good morning to us on this lovely Tuesday. I'm happy you are here. Let me know how bittersweet the Jenny Cavnar news is. I still can't get over it. My heart is so happy for her. I reached out to her too. And then again, let me know, how did you watch Super Bowl 58? I'm very curious. You guys, that's your Denver Sports Daily. Very short and sweet for you today. So get back to work and we'll see you guys at 12 p.m. James Marilat and I are going to be on coffee break talking about, did John Elway betray the Broncos? Come see us then. Bye, everybody.